Now here is the brief introduction about the project. This project is situated in Vatak Nagar, Mumbai, Maharashtra. The total plot area of the project is 2520 square meters. Build-up area is 1430 square meters. Total number of floors are 28. Also we have the gym on the topmost floor of the building, which is 27th floor. Estimated cost of the project is approx 50 crores. Number of flats are 312. Carpet area for 1 BHK is 315 square feet. Carpet area for 2 BHK is 520 square feet. Now we come to the dimensions of the project. Height of the building is 81 meters. Length of the building is 61.5 meters. Width of the building is 22.4 meters. Now this is the architectural floor plan, which my colleague will be explaining further. Change. This is the architectural 3D view plus structural render view. The special thing about the project is we have a transfer slab that holds a total 23 floors, loads of the 23 floors above it, and which is above 14 meters from the ground level. Change. This is the framing plan. This is the superimposed plan. This is the combination of architectural plan and the structural plan. Next. Here are the end releases. This is provided in the secondary beams to give the negative moment to the primary beams. Now I would like to call Kikrokul to give you more information about it. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Good evening to you all. Thank you, Mr. Utkarsh Thakur, for the introduction and plans on the project. Our team has worked really hard and worked very close, and we have built a key relationship in this project throughout. The slide which I'm going to explain is from the section properties. On the section properties, we have 4 shear walls in the section, thicknesses in the unit of mm, and the preferable sizes. The grade of concrete is M35, and on transfer slab, we have 2 transfer slab on the section, thicknesses of 2000 mm and 800 mm. Material grade of concrete is M30. Please. The beam properties, 3 beams on the section. The depth and the width, we have used the proper sizes, and the material, the grade of concrete is M30. Slab properties, 3 slabs on the section and stairs with thicknesses of 150, 200 and 200 in mm. Grade of material is M30. Load assignment, shell loads. We have 7 types of loads in which we have referred IS code 875 part 1 for the dead load and IS 875 part 2 for the live load. The units are in kilonewton per meter square. The OHT, as we have used for one day storage, the dead load for 1 day storage is 21, and we have designed for underground water tank reservation. For LMR, we considered 8% per leaf. Through this, we have analyzed and designed the dead load of the LMR S9. Next. The earthquake parameters, seismic zone factor, in which our project lies on zone 3, which the value is 0.16, site type is 1, the importance factor is 1.2, as the population is greater than 200. Response reduction factor 4, time period in X direction is 1.03 seconds, and time period in Y direction is 1.71 seconds. And the topography is 1. Wind coefficient in X direction, 0 degree windward is 0.7 and 0.4. Y direction, 90 degree leeward is 0.8 and 0.1. We have referred to IS 1987. Gas factor analysis. As per the IS code of 875 1987 part 3, if the ratio of H by B is greater than 5, or if the frequency of natural time period is less than 1 Hertz, we designed and analyzed gas factor analysis is applicable. And on our design, the frequency is 0.344, which is less than 1 Hertz, so gas factor analysis is applicable. The maximum design pressure of the terrace is 688.713 Newton per meter square, and the minimum design pressure on silt and base is 290.40 Newton per meter square. The maximum force is in F axis 114.45 kilonewton and Fy is 335.34 kilonewton. And these are the gas factor design checks. Model analysis. The fundamental time period of the building should be 0.1 into n, in which n represents the number and the levels, in which our time period is 2.9, which has been checked and passed by the criteria. The first mode of vibration should be on translation, and the rotation should be less than 1%, in which our rotation is 1%, which has also passed the criteria as well. The difference between the time period of the rotation and translation above should be greater than 10%, and the modal mass participation of the third mode should be greater than 65%, and the modal mass participation of the last mode should be greater than 95%. Thank you. That's all from me. Now I would like to call Mr. Hemant to take it over.
So starting with the deflection profile, as we can see that the first one gives us the, we received the maximum deflection on the terrace floor, and which is very particularly near this duct which we had from the ground floor itself. So the deflection, can we move to the next slide? So the deflection was coming to be around 22.155 mm, and the actual shortening near the column was 21.279. So according to the clause from IS 456 that the deflection should be less than span by 350 or 20 mm. So we received a deflection of 2.628 mm, which was less than the allowable deflection of 4.6 mm. So hence our structure passed in deflection, and then we move towards the next one. So the stability checks, the basic criteria for any building. So starting with the first one, drift. The drift permissible value is 0.04, and we generally check it in the service model, but we've cleared it both in the uncracked as well as the service model. The spec X value drift comes to be around 0.04 and spec Y value to be 0.001. Now displacement due to the wind, H by 500. So our building, the permissible value is 180 mm. And you can very clearly see that we have received values which are very much less than the permissible values of 180 mm. And similarly for the displacement due to earthquake, we received the similar one. And the last is the net deflection, which I discussed in the previous slide. So next comes the torsional irregularity checks. So torsional irregularity happens when the ratio of maximum displacement to the average displacement is greater than 1.2. So for considering for spec X value, we just received the eccentricity in 2 or 3 stories, which is the first and the second story. So as you can see on this side bottom, that we received it in just 4 stories, and we have rectified it accordingly. And then moving to the spec Y values, so we received a lot of torsional irregularity in this spec Y because our building wasn't symmetric about the Y direction. So moving to the next slide, so you can clearly see that we have received torsional irregularity and eccentricity in almost all the stories in the spec Y direction. So soft story. A soft story occurs when we have a little more flexibility, or you can say the lower story is weak as compared to the upper story. So we have these 2 criteria. One is the stiffness should be less than 70% of the above story, and the other one is that the lateral stiffness should be less than the 80% of the average of the above 3 stories. So if we move to the next slide, we received just 1 soft story in the X direction, which is the first floor. So we've designed and modeled our model accordingly and the building accordingly. And then moving to the Y direction, we received it in 2 or 3 stories. So if you see here, we've received it in 2 or 3 stories. So we've modeled our building accordingly. So the buckling check, the simply H by B ratio, which should be less than 6, and for buckling to not happen, and we received it 3.85, so hence buckling check is not required in this building. So, and if, very clearly we can see all concrete frames have passed in the design check in the strength model. So our model is safe, so we can go with the detailing part. Now I would like to call Ashutosh Nima for foundation design.
Thank you, Himang. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, sir. Here, after the completing of the superstructure, we forward to the substructure, and as you can see, first after the too much iterations, we provide this as a combined footing. But as you can see, the positioning of the shear wall is too close. So after that, we move for the raft footing, and we provide two rafts of the dimension of 3.5 meter up to 3.5 meter, and the thickness of the raft is 2.5 meter, and we also provide drops, and the thickness of the drop is 3 meter, and the grade of the drop as the same as the grade of concrete is M40, same as the shear wall, and grade of steel we use is Fe 500, and the safe bearing capacity of our project is 450 kilonewton mm square. Here you can see the initial layout of the footing. This is the raft foundation, and this all is the drops, as you can see. Next slide. Now, after the modeling, we go for the analysis. At first, we check the ground bearing pressure, and the maximum value for safe bearing capacity is 450 Newton mm square, and we got 375.74. Hence, it is safe. And after that, we move for next slide. We move for the settlement for the foundation. And as we know that the settlement for the raft foundation is approx 50 mm, and here as you can see we got 41.75 mm, hence it is safe. Next. Okay, now we come the service load combination. Service load combinations we create for checking the punching shears in the shear walls and for the crack width. Next. And here is strength load combination. We took it from IS 456 table number 18, and we took the strength load combination for the designing of the footing. Next. Now we check the punching shear as per the criteria. The criteria is the 0.16 into under root FCK, where FCK is the grade of the concrete, and the value came approx 1.01, and here we got the x direction punching shear in x direction is 0.661 Newton per mm square. Next. And for y direction we got 0.72 in this area Newton per mm square. Next. After checking of the punching shear, we change the load because this is the raft footing, so we have to check the top steel and bottom steel, both steel we have to check, and now we change the load case as the for the dead and the live load we check the non-linear uplift. And now we check here, as you can see, for top steel we provide 16 mm dia bar as 100 mm center to center, and here we provide extra steel. Extra steel is 20 mm diameter of the bar at 100 to 100 spacing from here, and here we provide throughout the one strip different strips. Next. And for direction 2 we provide the reinforcement at the again 16 mm dia bar with 100 to 100 spacing, and for additional river also we provide here throughout at 16 mm diameter bar at 100 space. Now we change the load case for the bottom steel check non-linear cracked, and we check for the bottom steel, and we provide 32 mm dia bar at 100 mm spacing, and for here we got too much, we got the extra rebars, and after that we provide here 25 mm dia bar at 125 meter center to center spacing. Next. And for y direction we provide 32 mm diameter bar at 100 to 100 spacing, and for here and here we also provide additional steel of 25 mm dia bar at 125 mm spacing. And now we move for the check for the crack width. The crack width we check for the service load combination. And here for the bottom X direction, we got the maximum movement is 7,317, and the crack width is for 0.18. Next. And for the Y direction, we got movement 6,888 kilonewton meter, and also there the crack width check is 0.18 meter. After the completing of all the checks, we go for the soil structure interaction, and after that when we and there is the ratio peer reinforcing ratio before the soil structure interaction, and after the soil structure interaction some beams were failing, and we again rectify this and passing all the beams, and next slide. And this is all the peer reinforcing ratio after the soil structure interaction. Okay. Now I would like to invite Tushar sir.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Good evening, sir. So basically, before starting the presentation, on behalf of my team, I would like to thank respected Sandeep sir for giving this opportunity. Also, I would like to thank the mentors for for guiding us in this project. So basically, I will be discussing about the application of the building information modeling in this project. I have been assigned a task of project coordinator in this project, which is located in Vartak Nagar. So this is the architecture floor plan. This is the typical architecture floor plan. From ground floor to the third floor, there are 8 number of flats on each floor. And right from the fourth floor till 22nd floor, there are 16 numbers of flats on each floor. So beneath, there is also a puzzle parking which is provided from ground floor to the third floor. Next slide, please. So basically, this is the 3D architectural view. Next slide, please. So this is the plumbing floor plan. Basically, all the elevators, water closets, and plumbing fixtures are shown in this plumbing floor plans. One thing which I would like to mention in this project is, this project has been designed as per considering all the environmental aspects and the rules and regulations which are mentioned in environmental due diligence plan, environmental mitigation plans, and environmental checklist as per the government resolutions. Next slide, please. So basically, this is the section of the plumbing view. This is the typical section of the plumbing view. The red line which we have given is the hot water. For the blue line, it is the domestic cold water. And for the green line, it is the sanitation waste. Most of the time, there is a confusion between the grey water as well as the black water. So considering the environmental aspect, we have also provided the wastewater treatment plant just beneath the ground floor, in which after the tertiary treatment plant, the water which will be released can be used for the can be recycled and used for gardening purpose. Next slide, please. So one of the most important part of this beam is the clash detection. Basically, clash detection is to eliminate the any site coordinations problems which can be eliminated during the execution phase. So during our designing phase, we have generated few of the clash detections, such as which was between the beams and the pipe. The green pipe you can see, which was the clash detection between the beams. So we have resolved it. Next slide. We have resolved this clash detection between the beam line pipes. I would like to mention that there were total number of 64 clash detection between the beams and the pipes. So we have resolved all that. So
the concreting part, and then next comes the shear walls from the ground level to the first floor level. So basically, this is what we have planned, that we have divided the complete building into 3 parts, and we'll be starting from the leftmost part, and we'll be starting with the same procedure of shuttering, the steel bar bending, the bar binding, and the concrete pouring. So this also helps in the managing of the labor and saves a lot of time and cost, since we are just moving the labor, like the first we'll be starting with the shuttering part. When the labor moves to the next P2 part. That time the steel vendors, they can start with the steel binding. And similarly, then we move towards the, then we have the tank as well as the beam and the slab levels. So similarly, we have followed a pattern of dividing the building into 3 parts and then continuing with this whole process. Now I'll talk about the cost analysis and the BOQ part. So the approximate cost of our BOQ, or the amount which we have estimated, comes to be around 50 crores, of which 28% comes to be around the steel. So we have around 2,300 metric tons of steel which will be used, and approximately 10,000 cubic meters of concrete. So you can clearly see that steel is occupying the 28%. So steel cost comes to be around 13.5 crores out of the 50, and concrete cost comes to be around 8.5 crores. So the most important part which I have to discuss right now is the rate analysis. How did we put the rates in our BOQ? How did we decide and come upon the rates which we have decided, and how did we come to the cost of 50 crores? So if we, this section is from section 5.1, Delhi analysis of rate, which is given by the CPWD in the year 2016. So whatever rates do you see here, these are part of the Delhi schedule of rates, which is another government copy issued by the CPWD. For last, what we have referred to is the 2016 year, and we have put up cost for all, even the smallest of components, which includes the cartridge of aggregates or the cartridge of the cement. So we can clearly see that the labor, the baildar, even the cost of carrying the like the concrete which has been formed to the side by a manual means, we have carried that. Since this was 2016, and CPWD doesn't differentiate between small projects and large projects, so we can say that more or less these rates will be applicable to our building as well. So since CPWD has given this for Delhi, the DAR refers to the Delhi analysis of the rate. So this comes to be around 60 to 115 per cubic meter of concrete. And if we talk about my BOQ, the BOQ which we have formed for this, so we have put the cost as 6,500 per cubic meter. The difference, you can say, accounts for the difference in the rates of the labor as well as the construction materials from Delhi to Mumbai. And also, since this is a 2016 building and we are doing it in 2018, so we can account for the difference in the rates. Next comes the biggest part, the steel. I talked about it, 28% of the total cost goes into steel. So it is necessary to do the analysis for this. So you can see here again the cartridge of steel, twisted steel, deformed bars, the labor for the binding wire, even the binding wire through which we bind the steel with like the beam steel and the stirrups. So everything is included. But this is again by the DAR 2016 volume 1, and this cost comes to be around 56 rupees kg, which is what nearby which we have taken according to our analysis. And next comes the flooring part, because since flooring also counts for almost 15 to 16% of our project cost, flooring for me, we are talking about vitrified tiles here. Vitrified tiles here, this analysis of rate is for 1000 meter by 1000 mm by 1000 mm vitrified tiles, but we have used a different section of sizes. So if you can see that the cost for 1 square meter comes to be around 1414, and we have taken it as 1720, which is again the difference between Mumbai and Delhi, and the size, especially here, since the sizes are different, the wastage will be extra, and you can very clearly see that we have also added contractor profits and overheads, which I saw many of us have taken to be around 6 to 10%, but the government norms say it to be 15%, which a lot of groups here have done a mistake, that they have taken the contractor's profit to be around 6 to 10%, but the government rates say that to be 15%, because it also covers the overhead expenses of the contractor's labor, contractor's own staff, and his own bills. Now we'll be discussing about the BOQ. We'll talk about the cost versus benefit analysis. As I just told, that the project of estimated project of cost of project is around to be 50 crores. So for 50 crores, we since we know the rate for Vartak Nagar, Mumbai, the selling rate for the client, so it comes to be around 16,000 per square feet. And since we have 212 1 BHKs and 108 2 BHKs, the approximate selling cost for the client comes to be around 200 crores. And since this 50 crores, what we estimated, does not include a lot of plumbing as well as electricity fixtures. So we assume, we approximate the initial estimated cost of project to be around 70 crores, which will be a 20 crore addition for plumbings and electrical fixtures. So which we can say somewhat we have a profit margin of 300%. The 3 times profit we are assuming that. So, and also I'd like to discuss my BOQ. So, talking about next, we have the steel, and the one most important aspect which a lot of people have missed in their BOQs is the waterproofing. Waterproofing is one of the most essential things for any building, the toilet waterproofing, the terrace waterproofing. So this is one of the most essential aspects for any building, and patterns from the Delhi analysis of rates, we have come up with cost. And the most important aspects is the waterproofing for rooftop OHTs and the underground water tanks, which we have, like according to the industry standards or according to what our requirement is, we have put it as a 2-layer system, which will, first layer will be the pressure grouting and the second layer will be an application of a product. Next, go to sheet 2. Next, sheet 2 refers to the floorings, the painting costs as well as the doors cost. We'll go to doors directly. Last. So talking about doors, so we've put up the cost of doors as per unit, and what we since that considering up to rupees 5,000 maximum for fittings cost. This is basically the doorknobs, handle, or any accessories which you want to put. So this is a basic rate which the contractor has to take in his analysis, and then whatever extra, if it comes up, will be borne by the client at that moment. So if you see that we have put up 4 types of doors: the main doors, the doors for the kitchen, the bedroom doors, and the door for washrooms. So we have similarly put up the quantities and the rates according to it. Go to the So, like lastly, saying it once again, that we have a profit margin of almost 3 times, and that's how I'll conclude our group presentation today. Taking 2017-18 rates, and the additional thing which I mentioned earlier also, that 2016 rates, whatever CPWD calculates or gives, contains some amount of variation which will come up in the next 1 or 2 years till when the next CPWD rate comes. So CPWD generally does it in every 2 years. So it takes into account some of like we can say contingency rates, which the variation we can say. So CPWD does take some consideration. Others we have taken as per this, like this is also the rates from like Delhi 2017, which we market surveyed, or which we could get it from the net. So we balanced both of these rates.
Yeah,
and
because market survey which we have done is today, right?
no, 2017 I had the rates. We contacted the vendors. Like we had the documents, quotations from 2017. I had those from my personal data.
Okay, okay. Then it is perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So much.